Sup, my name is Ryu for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. I'm bringing you a deck profile with some duels on these guys, the Shiranui. Now, it does not look like Shiranui from the start, trust me, I'm aware, and I'm playing against Mermels, so let's see how this pans out for us. So Deep Sea Diva into the Mermel Atlantean Prince is a pretty standard opener for Mermels at the time. You know, it really is. Hi Abyss Megalo, how are you doing? And he's just gonna set up in my face constantly, go for Child Dragon or Tatsunuko, and rip out two cards from my hand. Which two cards did he rip out again? He ripped out Summoner Monk and Unizombie. Well, here's the thing, Unizombie is really not that much alive at the moment. I mean, I could make use of it. So Gold Sark here, just to force out the negation of that, even though I could have used it for something else. Speedroid Terratop, he's gonna max C. I'm not gonna take the max C challenge. I'm just gonna normal summon Raiden to get Mills. Now, the reason I want Mills is because I need another zombie in the graveyard that is like level 4 that I could bring back with a Mizuki, and he's got the Ghost Over Snow Rabbit, so that's going to come into play. Here's the Shiranui Sage, use effect for Unizombie effect, and go from there. As I was saying, I go for the Cypher Lord Omega because I brought it back with Mizuki, and I bring out the level 6, which allows me to go Crystal Wing because I'm able to bring this back while that's banished. Cypher Lord Omega is going to put back the Mizuki. He's going to Ghost Ogre the Cypher Lord Omega, which I chained the Crystal Wing to protect it. Now, let's show some quality-ass tools. To the subscriber who follows the channel and was playing against me, thank you. I was half asleep, and I messed up here, and I'm going to explain it, but it was an honor playing you, player 8819. So if you're watching, thanks for being part of the channel, as always. And I just went to force out effect there with Gold Sark. Let me explain what that does. Basically, when this little zombie over here is banished out, and this is why Gold Sark at 3 is so dumb for this deck, it will trigger the effect to pop a card that is face up on the board. Obviously, I lost some important cards here, and you guys are probably wondering, what the fuck is that? That is probably the most disgusting card in the entire deck. You'll see why when I get to it. I don't want to ruin the surprise. Just trust me here. So I set it on the board because I want it to hit the graveyard. The second it hits the graveyard, it doesn't get banished. Well, even if it got banished out. The second it basically is in the position I need it to be, and my Mizuki is in the graveyard, that's when the shit's going to get dumb. And I'm going to explain the combo, even though I was half asleep and I butchered it the first go-around. But with Cypher and Lord Omega, you're able to constantly spam the shit out of it. So I get the Unizombie to my hand. I'm going to use Unizombie instead of Mizuki because that's pretty much what I want to do to get to Cypher and Lord Omega. Chain Daunting Pose. Now, Daunting Pose in TCG is called Rise to Full Height. So some of you may already be aware, but for those of you who don't worry, I'm going to explain it. So here I use Cypher and Lord Omega's effect to put back Mizuki that was banished out through the pot. Now, Rise to Full Height, let me say the TCG name. Rise to Full Height, I'm going to chain it to banish it. Now the only monster he can attack is Cypher and Lord Omega. This is where I butcher the play by banishing out because I'm half asleep, and I was freaking up to like 4 in the morning. No, I didn't sleep I didn't get any sleep that day. More importantly, I was half asleep, I fucked it up. But I'm going to actually capitalize on it to show you here. But Raiden into a Castell, get rid of the Superia. Dark Lord's too strong. And he's got, but this is what I mean again. I'm half asleep. I'm just like, fuck it, ram myself into it. Because I'm a fucking retard at times. But it's okay, because I can bring back the Unizombie and make another Cypher and Lord Omega and basically just capitalize on what I've been saying. But no, I forgot that, hey, my other one's banished. Just to make Utopia the lightning and call it a goddamn day. The misplays are real. But it's okay because of what's about to happen. So I go for the play here. I'm doing it correctly because here's what needs to happen. You cannot chain Cypher and Lord Omega's effect to this. Go handless if you see this combo. That's the easiest way to counter it. The only monster he can attack is Cypher and Lord Omega. Now, when he activates something, or I get like there, I get to banish it out. Since the only monster he can attack is Cypher and Lord Omega, and because of stupid rulings with Konami, he cannot activate his battle phase this turn. So, you can enter battle phase, but you can't attack nothing because Rise to Full Height banished it out and did stupid things. I talked about it on Tech Tuesday, and basically the Cypher and Lord, well, I will be talking about it on Tech Tuesday, sooner or later. There's other stuff to talk about as well. So here I go for Norden, go into the combo wombo to another Cypher and Lord Omega, and just do stupidity, because stupidity is always great. I'm not going to attack into his monster because I don't need to. I could just sit here and constantly loop this shit and get a Mizuki back. And this is where it begins. Even if there's 2 Cyframe Lord Omegas on the board, the one that I activated the Rise to Full Height on is the one he has to attack. He's now handless, but unfortunately for him, and it was an honor dueling you, I'm just able to punch out the damage I need to win the game. Half asleep, sacky as shit, won me the game. So I have 2 more duels after this to show you because it's just so much fun. I love this deck, but there's a lot of thought power that goes into really making the combos. And this is what I was talking about. If you play Gold Stark and nothing's face up, you won't be able to destroy nothing, but that's okay. He's playing Kristons. And I really like this Kriston player and what he was doing because it was a lot different. I don't know if I haven't paid attention to it or they just became this nuts overnight because of what this guy was doing. Look at this, Karakuri Synchro into the Strategist. Strategist changes my monster's position. I'm like, why wouldn't you change your own? But it's okay. You know, I was just curious. I'm like, why aren't you drawing another card? But look how much he's going off with a deck that pretty much says you can only use machine types or whatnot. Just look at the insanity right now. Look at this. Going completely off. He can't do anything else. His soul charge is in his way. I get to make Castell, the scum of rank 4s, Norden into back another monster into a Utopia Lightning, into taking out that freaking Formula Synchron and murdering out one of his level eaters. But he's got Gear Town, and I was like, the second I saw Gear Town, I'm shaking my head going, oh god. And I'm thinking Gadgetron, and he's like, nope, I'll bring out the level 6. Goes to the Karakuri Synchro, that's level 7, brings out the one that changes battle position, brings out Amatrix, and takes out both of my monsters. I'm just going to pump for shits and giggles. At this point, I'm just like kind of stupefied, like, when did Kristons get this good? I thought they were so slow and whatnot. I really got to revisit them because there's so much has changed with them since the last time I saw them. They really have. But Mizuki into Mizuki combo wombo into Scarlight into blow board up into get monster back into I'm not even gonna bother attacking this turn. I'm gonna target his monster. Wait, I'm sorry, target my monster. Use a soul charge to make another to make a Cyframe Lord Omega. I'm so used to having multiple Cyframe Lord Omegas on the board. I really am. He goes to target here. I'm just gonna rip out a card from his hand, figuring that maybe it's something decent. He goes for the Amatrix. He's gonna put my monster in defense mode. He cannot jump over it. Maybe he thought he could, but then he realized he couldn't. So it is what it is. It happens to the best of us. And I'm just going to attack here, go for Scarlight for burn damage after banishing out my Cypher Lord Omega. And I think that was a good duel because I can't believe what he did. That was insane, the amount of stuff he was able to do with that deck. This is one matchup that took a while to really find. Is against Heroes. I really wanted to get a matchup against Heroes because not only is it hilarious what can happen, because the Shiraiuis, the way they work, it's just so much fun to watch. So much fun to watch. So I go for the Sage here. He goes for Mass Change. That's perfectly fine. Hi Danklaw, how the hell are you doing? Oh, Danklaw says he's doing great. Well, I'm going to use Unizombie's effect to target the Danklaw and get it out. Now some of you are probably like, what? So I basically use Unizombie's secondary effect, the one that normally you don't use. You usually use the one that you mill from the deck. And I target, my Unizombie to boost the level. Because Chief Priest. I could have done it out of the deck too, but I wanted to capitalize on that later. So Chief Priest is banished. Triggers effect. Get rid of Dark Law. Hilariously easy. I'm sorry, but it is. Go for Castell. Go for Soul Charge because I'm a sacky piece of shit. Watch the board. Here comes the Mizuki into the grave. Make a first Cypher Lord Omega. Banish out the Mizuki. And let's make a Clear Wing for shits and giggles where Twin Twister face down. Cypher Lord Omega's put back to Mizuki. He plays Fusion Recovery. I'm going to basically wait to rip a card. He plays the Polymerization. I was hoping to hit one of his heroes, but unfortunately was not able to. He makes Dystopia guy and murders out my Clear Wing. Rip me. Unizombie, use effect. Chief Priestess, going to basically go for it. And I bring out the Shiraiui zombie. Now, Chief Priestess is banished out, so I get to trigger effect here. Even though he kills my monster, which is fine, because now I'm going to be able to put one back in the grave, and also have my chain effect, which is always great. Cypher and Lord Omega put one back. He goes for Mally. I'm going to rip a card. I ripped out Polmy. Polymerization. I feel good about that hit. That was a good hit in my opinion. I get Pot of Stupidity at this point. I'm like, I don't need it. I already have so much control over the game, and I'm pretty much going to win here because of that combo there. And he goes for Dynamite Guy to try to sustain less damage, but it's not going to matter at the end of the day. So, what I wanted to show off in that last duel was basically how easy it is for this deck to jump over Dark Law. I want to say this guy's playing some variant of Dark Synchro. I want to say it's Dark Synchro. Oh, no, it's like Hero Synchro or whatnot. It's pretty much the Hero variant. It's a pretty cool variant. But I'm just glad it's not the Treat Toad spam, because Treat Toad spam just shits all over this deck, to be completely fair. I don't mean to like sound that way, so negative about it, but it's kind of true, so it sucks. Unizombie, send that Mizuki to the graveyard, because this is a really heavy combo deck, and you really need to be able to go over things. He plays a Time Space, I'm going to rip a card out of his hand, protecting my monster, go for Leviair, bring back the Mizuki that I wanted to bring back next turn, go for the Instant Fuzz, Norden, how you doing Norden, and go into the Clear Wing, banish out Mizuki so I can utilize again, Power Boost, and he's like, fuck this shit, and just calls it a day. That last duel was just mainly to show the capability of what a good hand can do with this deck, and go from there. Now, like I said, this doesn't compete with meta decks all that well, but it is one of those good local regional kind of decks. Now, to be fair, someone could probably take the deck and actually win with it with more experience than I have, because I only have such a short amount of time of experience with it before I go to the next deck and start working on it. So that's just kind of my two cents on it. This is a deck I wouldn't mind playing IRL if it wasn't for a few things. Obviously, this deck is not cheap, especially when you could spend a little bit more and get more bang for your buck than this deck. But to be fair, it's a good deck nonetheless. So let's talk about it. Samurai of the Shiranui, 1 Raiden, triple Mizuki, double Chief Priestess, double Summoner Monk, triple Sage, triple Unizombie, triple Terratop, 1 Tengaborg, and 1 Shiranui YouTube. I like to call him YouTube. All jokes aside, Raiden is just in the deck with Summoner Monk to help you get into the Sage. Well, obviously, Summoner Monk is for Sage, and for Raiden, Raiden's just there to get to Cypher and Lord Omega a lot easier without needing the Unizombie combo of going from Sage into that. So, because that's usually a thing that you need. The Spearoid Terratop not only allows you access into Leviair, but allows you access into Dante. Sometimes you need that mill into the graveyard, and it does help out quite a bit. The Shiranui Samurai and the Priests, those are just pretty much extra Shiranui monsters that are really going to be key cards, and the level 2 tuner can help you make, where is it, the level 6, that helps you make Crystal Wing. I'm about to call it Clear Wing. I'm stupid today. Triple Infusion, because a Pot of Stupidity, or a Pot of Desires, a Pot of Cupidity, however you want to say it, but I call it Pot of Desires end of the day. 1 Raigeki, triple Pot of Desires, 1 Soul Charge, 1 Upstart, triple Gold Sark. This card is dumb as hell in this deck. 1 Foolish Burial, triple Twin Twist, triple Sword of the Swallow, and 1 Rise to Full Height, because Rise to Full Height is just mental. Rise to Full Height combo has been out way before anything I've done with it, and I just kind of wanted to ignore it because it's an endless loop. If you can't take out the Cypher and Lord Omega, it becomes endless, and they could take you out before you take it out. It's really dumb that Konami actually allowed that to be a thing, because even if you banish it, they're just going to stick it back and do it again. It is what it is. I mean, hell, I've banished it out and I stuck it back in the graveyard because of Pot of Desires and Cypher and Lord Omega combo. If there was a deck called Cypher and Lord Omega, it would probably be this one. No, honestly, this deck does a little bit more than just Cypher and Lord Omega, but obviously the backbone of the deck, the spinal cord, is Cypher and Lord Omega because it makes it work 10 times better than it normally would. Our instant fusion targets are Reaper of the Nightmare because it combos with Unizombie so well, because that way you don't, in those situations, you don't have the setup needed to get your zombies in the graveyard to make that Cypher and Lord Omega. This just hands it to you on a silver platter. Norden, you saw me use it in the games. It's Norden. It goes without saying. Especially with Raiden. When Raiden hits the graveyard, Norden it back. High Cypher and Lord Omega. High Red Dragon, Scarlight. It gets it all to you. 1 Crystal Wing, 1 Scarlight, 1 of the Shiranui Synchros, because it's actually really good. Triple Cypher Mode Omega, those are our level 8s. We're not using anything else. Cypher Mode Omega is just taking over the channel this week. He just said, I'm taking over, and that's that. One Clear Wing, one of the Shiranui level 6. He's basically the Katana Man. That's what I like to call him. You're just going to mainly use him to get into Crystal Wing. And the way you do that, I'm going to explain it real quick. If Shiranui Sage is banished alongside with this, because when this is in the graveyard, not to turn its scent, you can bring out this guy. You want to target Sage, so Sage brings back the level 2 tuner onto your board, and that gives you access to Crystal Wing. Basically, it's a reverse Dragoonies. Instead of pulling it out of the grave, you're pulling it out of the banished zone, so it's fun. Super fun. Utopia, Lightning, Utopia, and Castel, those are only real rank 4 spammers, because Utopia, Lightning, Utopia, and Castel, because Castel just is spot removal. Levier is going to allow you to bring back banished cards. If you need to banish out a Unizombie and you have the Speedroid combo, it's so good. It just allows you to make stupid plays really fast, really early. And then, of course, Dante, because Dante just speeds through the deck. That's the entire deck profile. I've been behind on this because technically the stuff came out in Dark Illusions. I wanted to do it then, but obviously I didn't because I'm behind on things. But now I'm catching up. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If there's a deck that you want to see on the channel that's not called Dark Magicians, to relax. I know you guys want to see that. I'm trying my best to actually get it done, but it's just a pain in the ass to really get the deck fully down, with duels and stuff, where I'm comfortable with it, because it's not happening, because Yugioh Pro doesn't want to play nice. But thank you guys so much anyways for tuning in as always, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Until later. Peace.